I do have a question. How would you define feminine traits? Because I think that also would be
What
important to define, especially when people throw out, I want a woman to be feminine. I want her to be feminine. I want her to be feminine. So let's define these things that we're talking about. So fit, feminine, and friendly. Well, friendly, I don't think you need to
And
define,
we
but
also
so
talked about how femininity can be different depending on region.
okay, well, we talked about masculinity. That's the big seems to be universal with femininity. It's the masculinity that kind of goes up and down, but we're not talking about that tonight. And that's in other countries, not here. But when it comes to fit, remember we had reread the definition before the show started, and it included nutrition. It included a person who was what did we say? They were
Healthy eating.
healthy eating. That's the
Mhm.
nutrition. Healthy body weight. Also was able to the endurance. Their endurance was appropriate for their age.
also working out.
So that was about being fit. So it wasn't just your exterior; it was a lot more than just the exterior when it comes to being
You also, I
external.
think, did you say workout as well?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so work out, bro, inside and out, not just on the outside, but also on the inside. So you have to, and it's so crazy. This is this is what we have to do. So, and I was talking to mistaken about this earlier. Women who have daughters, especially, we need to work out and then take our daughters, even at young ages, out to work out with us. Because I noticed that when I was growing up, like I had this one girl who was on my cheer squad with me, and she was a runner. She ran every morning. But you know why? Because her mom ran every morning. And so then when she became a decent age, like a toddler, like older toddler, she started to run with her mom. And so she was disciplined, became a part of her norm. And so she continued to do that. So we do that at an early age with our daughters, teach them the importance of being fit, then it becomes a natural part of them. And they carry it on through life. So we have to start doing that for sure.
I think that goes hand in hand with femininity also. I
Mhm.
feel like if the mothers are feminine beings and then they're teaching their daughters, I think it would be a lot less masculine women out there in the world, because I do personally feel like that it starts at home first. They are getting their upbringing from home. So I
Mhm.
feel like if they're in a household where your mom is masculine and she kind of runs the house and your dad doesn't even have a voice because she's so masculine, like she's going to think that that's normal and that's how she's supposed to treat her husband. Or if you have a girl that's in a household and there isn't a father present, most of the times that woman is probably going to be more masculine, so it's rubbing off on the daughter. So I think it starts at home first. Like we have to start showing that feminine side more in the home to be able to show our daughters that this is how you need to kind of move throughout life. Like, and nobody is, I think sometimes Black women equate femininity to like being a pushover, somebody kind of running over you and you're just a punching bag. You have to take everything and just deal with it. But we have to get that stigma out of our minds that it's something negative, as well as submission. It is not a negative thing to want to submit to your man, to want to be feminine, to want to be friendly, to want to be fit. We have to stop looking at everything as negative.
Mhm.
And to go back what Christina was asking about femininity, I when I think of that, what I think is ladylike. Just being a lady. My grandmother's always like, "Oh, you have to be a lady. Cross your legs. Be a lady. Don't." This gonna sound as don't walk on your knees. You know how you scoot around on your knees. Get off of your knees. You're a lady.
My mom said the same thing. Don't sit on your knees. Don't
Don't
turn
knocking
your
your
back.
knees up. You're a lady. And it's so many things from eating at the table, eat this certain place, forks go certain places, spoon, blah, blah, blah. It's just etiquette, like an etiquette school. And unfortunately, I went to one growing up. We had like a little organization every other, like the first Saturday of the month, and we would go. So maybe finding those little schools for our like little charm schools for our little girls. Um, and that may help with the femininity, I suppose. What y'all think?
I
I
think
think
access. You, I mean, that would be a wonderful thing for that to happen. But
I
A
think
lot of
If you
the
can put your child
houses,
in, listen, let me tell you about this organization. I know it was in Alabama, so things like that are usual in Alabama, but because they preach that whole Southern Belle thing, but especially when I was growing up. But just like you can find athletic things for your child, it's no different from that. Like you go to ballet, but then after ballet, go to, or if your child is involved in cheer or whatever, you just incorporate that just like you incorporate any other. You know, if you get your hair, listen here, nails cost $70 a pop. Maybe you should just grow them naturally. Take that $70 and put it towards an etiquette school, $70 a month. It can't be more than that.
Oh yeah, especially if you're paying for your daughter at young age, because let's be honest, these little girls are getting younger and younger with these fake nails. If you can support that habit, you can definitely support an etiquette school. Just
but I mean,
to
access to it. Where are these schools? You know, like
You
I
can
mean,
go
that's
there.
the real question because
that depends on
I
your
mean, you
area.
do say like, yeah, let's do this, but do they have access to those locations? You
Yeah,
know,
they
like
have a lot here in Atlanta. You know what? Just let me know when you don't have an etiquette school, and I'll open one for you.
I mean, right. I think it's a great idea because especially if a lot of these young women don't have role models, then you know that would be a good alternative. But then
I also
how do
think
they know about these places?
I also think it depends on personality as well, because in environment, and not that I am making any excuses, but I'm just speaking from my own experience. I grew up in a household where my mom was very feminine. You know, Shantae, you know my mom.
Mhm.
So like she's submissive, she's very, you know, soft spoken. She is such a freaking lady. But I'm not. Personality wise is just the environment. When I grew up, I was a tomboy, still am, you know, to a, yeah, I'm gonna say to a degree. I still am. And I was allowed to partake in the things that I enjoyed in, and wasn't necessarily limited to say, oh, well, you're a girl, you can't do that. And that was just my personality. It always seemed to me growing up, when I was younger, that boys had so much more fun. Like when I looked at the little girls who were like real girly, it just used to like bother me, because like I wanted to be out there playing and running. Like anytime I had a dress on, I used to wear biking shorts on the, like my mom used to make me wear dresses and I hated them, but I would put biking shorts under them because I knew that I wasn't conscientious of, you know, in a moment crossing my legs, or if I saw boys playing like football or baseball, or kickball, I'm out there running around doing it as well. And I'm thankful that, you know, my dad and my mom, neither one of them kind of was like, girl, stop that, you know. But you know, but they did teach me decorum. So if I was some places, like if I was in church, or if I had to go to my mom's job with her, you know, I knew how to conduct myself in different environments. And so I don't know if that is different. Like I can go to a function in which my husband would never have to be embarrassed, because I know how to carry myself properly, you know. But I think a lot of times, sometimes the feminine thing kind of get in a way of, I guess when you're younger, in development, in terms of doing things that you enjoy doing. I used to see girls who parents would be like, "No, you can't do that because you're a girl." And I'm not to say that, you know, some of that doesn't apply to certain things, but I'm thankful that my parents allowed me to just express myself in being who I am. And then as I got older, I did begin to apply some of those things that they taught me.